Modern alternative hip hop legend Earl Sweatshirt is back with his fifth album, Live, Laugh, Love. Yeah, guys, we are back with another banger video that we hope you guys will enjoy. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe before we get into this video. I am TMC Guy. I'm here with Rossi. We're here to review Earl Sweatshirt's brand new album. And yeah, let's just take it away real quick. Yeah, Old Sweatshirt has dropped Alchemist and brought us a solo project this time around. And honestly, I like this follow up to Voir Dire more than Voir Dire itself, actually. The production this time around was handled by Theravada, Black Noise, Child Actor, Navy Blue, and by Old Sweatshirt himself. But yeah, what are your initial thoughts on this album, Rossi?
Yeah, my initial thoughts and going into my first impressions as well. Earl's signature style with his offbeat rhymes and mellowed out beats is back into form here. Really feels like a chill at home and roll one up kind of album or kind of feeling in that regard. Also has some dreamlike elements, shifting structures, glitchy loops, fragmented transitions that bring similarities to some rap songs, in my opinions. And the best thing that I do like about this album here is what he raps about here. And you can see in the focal point of this album is him rapping about his fatherhood, which was pretty touching, in my opinion. But yeah, let's hear your first impressions before we do go over towards the structures of the album here.
Yeah, so for me, the intro, I wasn't so sure about the intro of this track. Like, it felt like another like unserious song from, or like another troll song, kind of like East or something. And I wasn't like the biggest fan of What Dear, and I didn't hate it, but I certainly didn't love that album either. So I low key kept my expectations low with this new album. But honestly, I was blown away by this record. Like the opening track might have been like, okay, what in the world is going on here? And what year might have been like, yeah, so it kept my expectations kind of low. But yeah, this album is one of the most consistently enjoyable rap albums of the year, and was produced so well. Earl's always been one of my favorites from Odd Future, and I can handily say he outdid Tyler the Creator, who's my actual favorite from Odd Future this year. Earl dropped the better album in 2025, hands down for me. This is definitely better than Don't Tap That Ass. I mean, Don't Tap the Glass. But, like that, sorry. But yeah, what about you? Do you want to get into your analysis real quick?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna highlight a couple of songs here on this regard. Now, bit of a bold take that he dropped the best out of our future or out of Thailand in this regard, but I do want to touch upon a couple of tracks here that I did highlight here. Now, the intro track. It's actually Golden State Warriors versus Sacramento Kings. Now, these are just NBA teams here that have faced off together simultaneously. I think it was during the 2022-23 campaign. And it is sort of ironic because these teams are both situated within San Francisco, where he was raised initially. But nonetheless, I actually did like the opening. It has this old school kind of beat that loops around with his mellowed vocals, even though there isn't a lot of references that he gives off to the song in itself. You can tell that what he's rapping about is calling a lot of bullshit that the industry or people around him do normally give in that regard. But that's pretty much it from what I could break down from the song. There's not really much to break down. You can just tell that, it's a throwaway track in a sense on that regard. But I just wanted to note that down in terms of how the structure of that song is. Going into Gamma, Need That Heart, Earl emphasizes on his constant progression in life on a loopy upbringing beat, elaborating on how he feels with the waves or how he goes with the waves while others around him maintain a consistent yet unfulfilling streak on that regard. The beat on this song doesn't really do it for me, and I'm gonna say that in terms of the production, mainly on this regard. I think because I'm such a big fan of the Alchemist, his presence is sort of missed within this album, but I do understand, this is also straight back into form with his own album on that regard. So take it as you will on that matter. Also want to touch upon the song Well Done. Earl gives a small reference to South African roots, referencing a dance style that we do have within the country here called gumboots. He puts up a lyric here stating, mining through myself, gumboots, the bottom starts to melt, I feel stuck. This sort of breaks down his I don't want to say depression in a sense, but his downstream in a sense where he'll be dancing to gum boots, but his boots start to melt since these boots are rubbery and they get hot. He sort of feels stuck now and doesn't feel like he can basically switch tones or switch directions towards what he's done. But I feel like he was able to do so. Touching upon my favorite track of the album here, Tour Malign. I think that's how you pronounce it. My apologies if I butchered it there, but it's a very wholesome song that I enjoyed where Earl finally reflects on his present self, becoming a father figure and finding responsibilities towards his family and his craft. Also has a love letter towards his daughter, which I really liked. The beat makes like a warm blanket through Earl's thoughts, and he gets more into his vocal bag, even though not much, still a bit appreciative that he can sort of jump towards this back here. But we can also go towards our highlighted tracks here if you want to point them out, or do you want to speak more upon the production of the album?
Yeah, let me just get into my analysis real quick. So yeah, now if you're new to all, like his offbeat rapping might be something you're not used to, or might even turn you off. It's if yeah, but it's yeah, that's okay, I guess. All definitely falls into one of the more niche rap categories. He only has about like 2 or 3 million Spotify listeners, monthly listeners, and yeah, because rapping to me has always been hip hop's equivalent to like free jazz, where it's very unstructured. Uh, and like it lacks a traditional hook or chorus. The bar lengths are uneven and feel like his rapping feels more like stream of consciousness or something. But you can never fault his production choices. If you don't like his rapping, then you'll probably at least like his beat selection. He often raps over lo-fi loop based, sometimes atonal beats that lack traditional hip-hop polish, but his beat picks are quite good. His beat picks are so good. Just don't listen to this album's opening track and think I'm bugging. Yeah, like yeah, that song's beat that does sound quite silly with its like in the beat. It's just like yeah, lyrically and yeah, lyrically on this, he can be quite abstract and often random or brings up references only deep hip hop heads would understand, like that Tay Hicks reference in one of the songs. But everything he puts in his music is done with intention. You might listen to the skit from that comedian at the end of the opening track and think it's just all being funny, but he's actually saying some pretty deep stuff, talking about how having some agency in your life instead of just waiting for things to happen for you. And yeah, Earl was actually pretty layered on this album. Like he went beyond just the surface level of things of what's said on the album. Even on the very deep following track Forge, his lyrics are also quite deep and require some deep diving. Like just have genius ready if you're really trying to break down these lyrics, guys. This album is it's actually quite deep. And all this is said over a nice strumming instrument based beat from Black Noise. In fact, Infatuation has a nice loop sample from Latin music legend Harvey Avern, as all delves into lyrics of perseverance through harsh circumstances and referencing Leonidas from 300 on here too. I love the song Gamma and its lyrics reiterating the album theme of self-actualization. He raps, I couldn't wait, no, couldn't shake the notion my fate was up for me to decide. It's no time for pump and breaks." And he also says, can't throw away my whole life standing in shade. But yeah, all sounds more confident than usual on this and motivated to just get his life going and grind. His confidence is apparent like on songs like Well Done. He says, you won't get a rise out of a real one. I think this album is kind of like the opposite of some rap songs lyrically, because on some rap songs he sounded quite depressed and somber on that album, but here he sounds like hopeful and optimistic. And I love like many of the references he drops to like his child and wanting to raise, learning to raise a whole entire human being. It's like it's really really like hopeful stuff for like the future, I thought. But yeah, yeah. Oh, it does sound very, very confident on this. It's like pretty different from his other albums and stuff. And his confidence is so apparent in other songs like Well Done. He says, yeah, we already mentioned how he says, yeah, you won't get a rise out of a real one. That's a lyric that really stuck with me. Like, damn, that's such a hard bar, especially from Earl. So yeah, uh, he shows a real bootstraps mentality on this album. Like picking yourself up by your bootstraps. And there's so many lyrics on this that could be a motivational quote, like something someone would hang up in their work office or have as like a wallpaper or something. You die, you only die, you die on the hill of your choice was another really standout lyric for me. And tapped in, locked in with my little boy, never lead with indecision, never leave the homies unless it's time to leave the homies. And yeah, that's all just one verse on the song live. Like there's so many standout lyrics on this album for me where I'm like, damn, okay, all really sounds very, very mature and hopeful. This is stuff I can listen to when I'm on the grind or something. And Crisco has one of my favorite beats on here with with a heavily distorted looped vocal sample. And once again brings up a mainstay topic in his discography, which is growing up without a father. He talks about facing hardships in life and how it made him stronger, and his mom being a pivotal figure in his life. Overall, this could be the best written song on the entire album for me. But yeah, another really, really great song that I love could be my second favorite track is Tourmaline, whatever. It's a really well written and standout track. I love the grainy, dusty beat on that track as well. It's probably the most depressed all sounds on here too, actually. But yeah, the last two tracks are production standouts as well. I love the chill closing track too, and what sounded like a kind of Asian vocal sample on that track as well. But yeah, you want to get into your standout tracks, Rossi?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. My standout tracks on the album here, Infatuation is one of them. I really did like Well Done. Crisco, probably my favorite song of the album as well. Just to also put some emphasis towards Crisco here, it brings a reflection towards Earl Sweatshirt's upbringing. We did speak about him growing up without a father, which was all brought towards his family struggles and the way it basically shaped his hardship and survival, making him a better person. Um, I think being hardened by the violence and anger that carried on within his life really made him the rapper that he is today on this regard, especially pulling from those strengths and finding a cohesive story to put on such a classic beat is very, very incredible, in my opinion. He really went in his bag in this song. I really did enjoy it. But also to emphasize other track here, Tourmaline as well. You summed it up really perfectly with it having this grainy darker feel on this regard, but the message that is given is, essentially just a love letter over towards his family in that regard. It's such a beautiful track. I really do enjoy it. And that basically torn between those two being my first and second favorite. Another track is going to be Heavy Metal, aka Electro Cito. The production there is absolutely amazing. I really do enjoy what um, the team cooked up there, Earl Sweatshirt team cooked up there. Not much lyrical content that I could derive from that song specifically, but I just want to put emphasis towards the production on that song because it was really good overall. Yeah, let's go over towards your standout tracks of the album, and then we can touch upon our pros and cons.
Yeah, so for me, my standout tracks are gonna be Infatuation, Gamma. I already mentioned Crisco and Tourmaline. Those are definitely my two favorite tracks, and I really, really love the outro exhaust. That could be my number three. But yeah, let me just quickly get into my pros and cons. Yeah, I love the theme of the album of the self-actualization. I really love that theme. It really feels like all is sort of like grown up and got over, well, sort of over his depression and stuff. And I thought all got quite deep on this album too. Like the lyrics were like, damn, this is it's pretty thought provoking stuff. And yeah, the producers also stayed on their P's and Q's on this album. The producers did such an immaculate job on this. But like, yeah, those are my pros. And I guess the only con is that intro track. I really didn't think it was a really, really great intro. So yeah, that's all I can say in terms of my pros and cons. What about you?
Yeah, just touching upon the album overall, the production it weaves that signature disorientation with subtle warmth. It's not immediately welcoming, but once you lean into it, it is rewarding, and in a deeper level. But nonetheless, going towards my pros here, it's very rich and layered in terms of the production with emotional cues, and the local depth on this album is impeccable. I think it's the best written album that Earl Sweatshirt has come up with, in my opinion. It balances internal chaos with newfound responsibilities, um, and with a tight runtime, it keeps it focused and powerful, in my opinion, and that's what the highlights are in terms of the album here. Going over to going over to the cons, the abstract structure can feel a bit jarring or and impenetrable on the first listen. So I think it is going to be difficult for newfound fans to sort of get into Earl Sweatshirt, especially since he's not one that sort of follows the beat in that regard. But I think that's going to be my only flaw given onto the album. Otherwise, the album is pretty great. I think it's um could be his best work. I mean, there is some rap songs as well. Um, it could be competing for that, in my opinion, but I think it's only going to compete with some rap songs because of how narrowly it does flow in this regard. Where some rap songs is a lot more abstract in that regard. But yeah, I think we can go ahead and touch upon our verdict. TMC guy, what you gonna give this album?
So yeah, all really gave us a get this money, chase your dreams type of album over obscure samples, offbeat, stream of conscious delivery. I thought this was an alternative rap masterclass, so I'm going to give this album an A minus. What about you, Rossi?
All right. Yes. The album is vivid. It is cryptic and emotionally grounded, in my opinion. For fans of abstract groove, this is another immersive triumph, in my opinion. In terms of what my score will be here, I'm actually going to be giving this a B plus. It's gonna get a B plus for me in terms of its rating, which is still pretty good. Nothing too crazy on that regard, but yeah, it's gonna get a B plus. But anyways, TMC guy, any closing um outlets that you want to give over?
So yeah, guys, this was a really was a pretty interesting follow up from all. I think, yeah, I think some rap songs is still my favorite from him, but this was definitely a solid effort. But yeah, what about you? Do you want to close the video for us today?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Guys, give the song, sorry, give this album a listen here from Earl Sweatshirt. He really does evolve for the better, in my opinion. And check out his discography too. I mean, he's one of the most underrated rappers within our generation. He's nothing like any other. He's very unique within his style, and I think he executes it very well. But nonetheless, guys, what did you think of Live, Laugh, and Love? Give us your favorite tracks or your favorite lyrics. Let's discuss this all in the comments. And if you did enjoy this breakdown, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We've got plenty more albums cooked up for us to dive into that's on the way. But, anyways, guys, stay safe and peace out.